Now, how many times have you guys scrolled down Instagram and looked at an image and saw how clear and crisp the eyes are and was wondering what camera is this photographer using, or what lighting or what lens and how sharp it is? Actually, I have news for you. It's not the lens, it's not the camera, it's actually Photoshop. So whatever camera you were using or he's using, you can achieve the same look just by doing these steps. Alright guys, so we have worked on the skin retouch in part 2. Now we're going to be working on the eye retouch. And basically with the eyes, what we want to do is we want to make sure that the white is a little bit more brighter, and see these lighter color of the blue in her eyes, we want to make it a little bit wider or a little bit brighter. And we want to make the edges a little bit darker, but not like a line. We're going to try to make it more realistic, and also add some light spots right here and the catch light. And we also want to work on the eyelashes and the eyebrows. So what we're going to do is create 2 layers. We're going to create one curve layer and another curve layer. The first one right here, I'm gonna make it brighter, and then hit Command I to invert the layer. And then in the other layer, I'm gonna make it darker, and also hit Command I to invert the layer. Now we'll go back to the first layer, and we're gonna click on B or brush. Now what we want to do is make it small, go back to the opacity, drag it all the way up, and start, actually let me make the flow a little bit lighter, let's say 50% approximately, and make sure that the white color is selected. I'm going to start painting on the white part of the eye. Now right away, this is going to look a lot better than before, just by doing this. Now let me show you before, after. Now we're gonna do the same thing for the catch eye and a little bit on the sides here. Now this is too much. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna make my brush a little bit smaller and my opacity a little bit less, and I'm gonna go do the same work again. Paint a little bit inside, right here, right here. Now this doesn't look as good, but that's why we created another layer here. I'm gonna go back to curve 2 now and go with the opacity a little bit less and darken the edges in movements like this. Let me make the opacity a little bit higher, and we're just basically gonna make dark areas more dark and kind of blend in the white and black together. There you go. Go back to the light area. Light on the catch eyes. Now, I feel like we added too much light, so we're gonna bring the opacity a little bit down and zoom out just a teeny bit. Now let me turn it off and on. This is off. This is on. Off. On. Now I feel like we added a little bit too much of the dark, so we're gonna bring the opacity down just a little bit as well. And maybe the fill just a little bit. We'll bring the fill down of the whitening, and now turn them both off, both on, and that's the look that I'm looking for. Now we're not done. What we want to do is also do some work on the eyelashes. So we're going to make them a little bit darker. We're going to go to the second layer and make the eyelashes a little bit darker. Now if I go small, I can actually start creating eyelashes. If I make the opacity all the way up and the flow all the way up to 100, I can actually paint the eyelashes and create them. Now we don't want to go too much with that, but you can see how it's adding beautiful, sharp look to the eye. Let me show you the before. and after. Now we can do the same thing to the other eye and bring the opacity a little bit down. And there you go. We just created new eyelashes for her. All right. Now we can make it a little bit bigger and work on filling out these areas here in the eyebrows. We want to be very subtle right here. And do the same thing on the other eyebrow. All right, let me show you before, after. Very big difference. Now we're not done, although it looks very nice, but actually we're not done. What we're gonna do is, we're gonna add some sharpening to the eyes. So we're gonna create a new layer. We're gonna go to the sharpening tool right here. Also, if you can't see it, click on it, right click, and go to the sharpening tool. And now, let me bring it down a little bit, it's too big. All right, that's good. Make sure that the strength is around 80%, and you can color around the eye. Now, this is a little bit too much. You can see that it's kind of making it too strong. I'm gonna go back, and I'm gonna bring the strength a little bit less, maybe 60%, and now we can work on it. Work on the eyebrows, make sure to sharpen the eyebrows and the eyelashes. The other eye, same thing, the eyeball. I don't like to do anything on the white color of the eye. And now let's turn it off, turn it on, and you can see the big difference right here. I can bring the opacity down just a little bit. We don't want to make it look too sharp, it will look fake. And we can add it back a little bit to 80% maybe. I like that. Now, another thing that I like to do is add some sharpening while we're at it to the hair. And I kind of like blend in those two steps together. So I'll bring the strength a little bit back to 36, 35, 40, and I color on only the sharp hair parts, not the ones in the back where it's blurred out. It doesn't look good. All right, I think this is perfect, and we're good for this part here, part 3, the eyes sharpening. Let me show you what we did. This is before, this is after, and it's a big difference. Now, join us to look at part number 4, which is dodge and burn. See ya.